You know, it seems there were these two women were playing golf. It's golf season, you know. And the first one teed off, nice shot, real nice shot. She kept looking and said, "Oh my God." Ended up going into a foursome of men that was playing the next hole, and it hit one of them. He immediately squeezed his hands to his groin and dropped to the ground and just was, you know, just rolling around in pain. The woman, she was just shocked. It's like, oh my God, I hurt him. So she went over there. She apologized. She goes, you know, I'm a physical therapist. I think I can help you. If you just let me, I can ease your pain. And he said, no, it's okay. I'm all right. I'll be okay in a few minutes. But he was in obvious pain. He was lying there rolling around, and but she kept insisting. So he said, okay, yeah, okay, that'd be fine. So she gently took his hands, moved them to the side, unbelted his pants, and administered, you know, a tender and artful massage. And after a few minutes, she asked him, "How does that feel?" And he looked up at her and said, "It feels good, but I think my thumb's still broken." What were you guys thinking? You know, what were you thinking? All right. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see everybody. This is good, man. This is like almost summertime, right? Woke up this morning, 38 degrees. Yeah, what happened to that? So it's like, okay, plant the flowers right after Mother's Day and you'll be fine, but I guess not. This is our second meeting of this year, second breakfast meeting of this year. So welcome and thank you for attending today's meeting. My name is Mike Cipineri. I'll briefly go over a few things today. So first, my first question I always ask, how was your breakfast? And please recognize the wait staff. They do a great job. And the wait staff actually has two students, one from Olivet College and one from Michigan State, right? So there you go. All right, we've been here at San Bernardino, I think, Dave, about 13, 14 years. This has been our home base. We've been pardon? Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Also, this is NCRO's 57th in-person breakfast meeting, which began in 2008. But it's amazing that we've been able to keep that string going through, you know, a lot of different things, you know, little things like bankruptcies, mergers, pandemics, bad jokes, you know. So because of your support and interest and your tolerance, we thank you for that. Thank you for attending these. Appreciate that very, very much. Today we have 152 people here. 152. That's a good sized crowd, and I think about another 30 on the webinar. So that's pretty good. A nice turnout for sure. With that number, it's starting to rival the attendance numbers that we had back in the bankruptcy. Right, we were getting around 200 or so. So we're getting close to that. So my question is, do you guys know something that we don't know? So. All right, let me go through a few things and then I'll go over the agenda and then we'll keep going. Just real quick, please continue to visit our website, ncro.org. It was redone and launched in January of 2023, so about a little over 2 years old. It's user-friendly, it's fresh. The web group does a really good job in maintaining that. But Jay's going to talk a lot more about that and give you a lot more information on that. So please continue to ncro.org. I wasn't here at our February meeting, so I'll take this opportunity to thank everybody for paying their dues on time. Well, at least paying their dues. Okay, so I appreciate that. So I know it takes some time for us to process them because, you know, they all come in at one time. So thanks for your patience while we process those checks. Let's see. Also remember, as a member of NCRO, you are also an automatic member of NRLN, National Retirees Legislative Network. So you automatically become a member to that. So that's a good thing. But And NRLN will always welcome other contributions if you wish to do that, and you can go to their website, nrln.org, if you wish to do that. Thank you to those who continue to contribute to our Contingency Action Fund, the CAF. It's a voluntary contribution, and for those that contribute, thank you for that. Please continue to support our retiree-friendly dealers, and we do have some representatives here. Pete, let's see if we can just slide it.
Yeah, I got it.
Is Pete's, there we go.
Does it work? Good. Good morning, everyone. Bill Golling, Golling Automotive Group. First of all, thank you very much for always hosting us so nice to be here. Two things that I've got for you. Number one, since we last talked, we bought the store in Grosse Pointe, so we now have 4 Chrysler stores. So we're in Chelsea, Bloomfield, Roseville, and Grosse Pointe now, and Mo will introduce herself. She's our GM there. And then the other thing, on June 6th, the Chrysler Corporation was incorporated June 6, 1925. So on June 6th, we turned 100. And to sort of celebrate that, I brought my 1931 Imperial. So it's parked right out front. So you can all take a look at it. Close, it's not quite as old as the company, but close enough for government work. So anyway, I just wanted to thank you again and appreciate always your patronage and your business. Thank you.
Hello, James Huffley. In addition to the 4 Chrysler stores, I represent the Fiat and Alfa Romeo store with sales located in Birmingham, and then we have service, parts, and body shop in Bloomfield Hills, also connected to the Chrysler store over there. Happy to help you if you ever need anything, and again, thank you for allowing us to be here today. We really appreciate it.
Hi, I'm the newest addition to the Golling Chrysler stores. I am the GM for Golling at Grosse Pointe. We just acquired back in March. We're working feverishly to get everything together, but we are there to support anybody that's on that side of town. Anything we can do to help, I want you to have a friendly face. Monique Harwood, pleasure.
Good morning. This is probably the smallest microphone I've ever had in my hand. Just want to say thank you again for having us. Always enjoy coming to this breakfast. And I'm Mike Golling of Golling Automotive Group. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Remember, please continue to support our dealers. They contribute, they advertise on our website. So it's good for us, helps us out a lot, and we should try to help them out too. Thank you, Bill, for bringing the 1931 Imperial. That's going to be raffled off, by the way. So everybody's got their ticket. And it just didn't ring some, old car. I mean, there's only like 20 of them left, so thank you for that, Bill. Appreciate that very much. It's the kind of group we got here, so, okay. Just continuing, any questions or issues that you might have as time goes on, including insurance questions, please call our office, our new office, and or you can go to the ncro.org website for contact information. The number of our office, 248-633-2827. So that's 633-2827. Okay, I'm going to just mention one thing real quick. I think I got some of this information correct. The NCRO started around 17 years ago as an email distribution list of about a dozen recipients, which has grown to over, I think, over 5,000, right, Pete? Over 5,000 members right now? Yeah. Oh, so from like a dozen to over 7,000 today. I'm told Jim Buttery started the list along with Chuck Austin, Chris Dierda, Doran Samples, Joe Phillips, and Roy Schoberg, among others for sure. Since though, we have lost Jim Buttery, Joe Phillips, and most recently, Roy Schoberg. Roy volunteered to be the first treasurer, and in Chuck's words, Roy was a worker and just got things done. Roy, along with Chris Dierda, Deb Morissette, Dana Oliver, were instrumental in hiring our first lawyers during the bankruptcy, which no question, saved our pensions. Many may remember Roy as a founding member of NCRO or as the chief engineer of Team Viper. I, along with some others that are here today, remember him as our Team Viper leader, our motivator, our friend, and as Father Viper. So I just wanted to mention that about Roy. Okay, we're going to end this in a little bit upbeat. The last thing I just want to mention is it good being a sports fan in Detroit right now or what? I mean, the Lions, they did great last year and they're supposed to, I think they're winning the Super Bowl. They don't even have to play it. They're already told they're going to win the Super Bowl. Pistons did good, made the playoffs, went from, I think, the worst team last year to making the playoffs. The Red Wings, yeah, okay. Maybe another year, but the Tigers are doing good. Best winning percentage in major leagues right now, even though they got blown out last night. They'll be back. So, all right, let me just go over today's agenda. 10 o'clock, we ate. Okay, 10:30. Let me see where we at. Oh yeah, okay. The opening remarks. I am not the opening remarks. Jay Kuhnie, our president, will come up and give us some opening remarks, bring us up to date on NCRO and Chrysler. Our keynote speaker today is John McElroy. Do we want an American auto industry or not? And then we'll open it up to Q&A, and we should be out of here noonish, 12:15 or so. So, all righty. With that, Jay.
Good morning. Let me add my welcome to Mike's to all of you. It's a great crowd, and I attribute that to John McElroy as being our presenter, and I think everybody's excited, hopefully as excited as I am about hearing what John has to say for us. And I'm going to try to get us a little bit back on schedule so we don't eat into his time. A couple things I wanted to talk to you about, but before I get started with my slides, and I will try to click them properly. I just want to thank you guys for attending. We have a great attendance, and as Mike said, we've got, if you don't remember this or don't know about this, we also broadcast this as a webinar. So we have people all over the United States listening, and I know probably Dave Evans is probably in California and whatever. So we have people that get up and listen to us, watch what we're doing. So it's I appreciate those that are on the webinar. Thanks to Dale and the crew. It's amazing what these guys do to set up and allow us to be able to have these meetings. And they come and they try to do some precursors like last night, come in very early this morning and set everything up. So Dale and the crew, appreciate it. Thanks very much. Not loud enough. Can you hear me? Okay, how about if I do that? That's better? Perfect. Nobody's ever told me I don't speak loud enough, so unless it's my wife. Before I get started, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, which I will talk a little about, excuse me, later, is annuitization. And I think that we have talked a lot about annuities, and I want to talk to you about what we're trying to do for it. But I wanted to see, is anybody here has been annuitized, or pension's been annuitized now with either Athene or Prudential? Okay. If you are and you have this, we want to not just protect pensions and benefits. We also want to work on making sure that the annuities are taken care of. But we don't get much of the information. So if you, particularly, if anybody else that's on the webinar, or we'll send this out on our newsletters, if you see any kind of correspondence that comes to you that's a little strange and you don't really understand it, please contact us. And if you can, if you've been given the numbers to reach people at either Prudential or Athene, if you can give it to me later or send it to us, an email, the contact number, it would be we'd appreciate it, because we don't want to lose the people that have been annuitized. We want to protect them as much as we protect those of us who still have pensions coming from FCA. So if you can do that, that would be appreciated for you. It's an important thing, because we're working very hard on this whole thing of annuities, and I'll talk a little more about it. What I'm going to do today, as quickly as I can, is go through a little bit of an NCR update. We had a meeting with HR, and I think if you were here last time in February, I talked about being a little concerned about the relationship that we're having with FCA and whatever, and I've been trying to get a hold of them. And in fact, in the interim, we were able to have a meeting with the head of HR. So I'll talk to you a little about that because I think it's important for you to understand kind of what we've been trying to do with them and their answers to the questions that we had. Then I want to talk to you, as Mike said, you guys are members of the NRLN. And that's the organization that we utilize for more national activities. If we can't do things with FCA, we try to then push those up to national. So those are the things we work on. And I will like to applaud you because we talked about, Mike talked about, you guys giving money to the NRLN. And in fact, I just got some information that I think the NCRO group is probably the largest contributors to the NRLN from any of the other associations. So for that, I really thank you guys for doing that because it really is important for us when we go to Washington. NCR update. Let me talk to you a little about what we did. I had a meeting with Matt Smith, meeting on the phone, obviously, and we covered a lot of ground. And those are the things that we talked about. We talked about just a bit of an overview of what's going on with the company status of work at home versus working in the office, the impact of tariffs, what that might have, what they're doing, financial outlook, and any impact on retiree benefits out of our work with the NRLN and what we're trying to do. And we always try to do things and let them know what we're doing. Continuing interface between us and them, which I've been concerned about, and how can the NCRO communicate with the future or newer future retirees. So let me go back and cover them. The overview really was kind of what's going on. We were a little concerned about, as you hear things in the papers and on the news about Stellantis and what's happening. And it's real interesting that the elimination of Tavares as the CEO has made some major changes there, specifically in the United States as well. The mentality, which seemed to be cut their way to profits, and I don't think we've ever had that before, have we? Cut our way to profits? Oh, sound like a broken record, sort of. But they've changed that kind of a mentality, and they're doing things a little bit differently than they were in the past, which I think is a great piece of news. The status of returning to the office, and I've had my own concerns about productivity and working at home because it seemed like there was a lot of traffic on the roads that seemed to be people should be working, and they were more driving around, or at least it was hard to get a tee time on the golf course. So back in February, they made the announcement that they were going to go back to work in the office in a hybrid thing 3 days a week, and that kind of took a lot of people by surprise. And it started March 1st. They had to come back to the office, and it's as Matt said, it's been a little slow because things will happen. I'll talk a little more about that from the government perspective as well, but that's what they're doing. They think it's the right thing to do and bring people back to the office. Impact of tariffs, frankly, they don't really know. And as we see, there's up and downs in what's going on with the tariffs. So they're trying to react the best they can. Said that Elkin's working with Ford and General Motors to try to, work together to see what that impact is. As they don't really understand yet what the financial impact would be. And I talked to them about what we're doing with the NRLN. The next one was what we're doing with the NRLN, because obviously there's still retirees. Most of us in this room are still retirees that are getting paid from FCA, but there's always a chance to be annuitized. So we are actually trying, and I'll talk this when we go to the NRLN update. We're working on, I've told us about how do we protect annuitants who lose the PBGC protection. So we explained to them what we're trying to do because we want to have as much openness with them as we can, so it doesn't kind of go back, because it will have an effect on what I'll tell you. That will have an effect on if they can and how they can do an annuity. Continuing interface, I've tried to express to them that we need to have meetings, have discussions when it's required, not just to set up a meeting every month or whatever, but when things come up and things we believe need to be discussed, that we need to meet with them. So Matt's agreed to do that, to set up some meetings. So in the future, we'll have a better interface with them. So it makes me a little happier that we still have that relationship with them. I will say that we talked about the insurance committee. They still do a very, very good job with interfacing with our insurance committee. So if you have issues that come to the insurance committee, that we still have the liaison and we still have a good working relationship to get things accomplished. So that stays the same. And then the other issue is a long-running issue that we've had with them, and that is not that we want them to necessarily tell people that we are the right place to be if they're a retiree, but we want to be able to communicate with the new retirees to at least say, hey, we're around. Because as I said before, when you retire, you lose that relationship to go into an office or whatever connections you have to find out what's going on with your things, your personal things. So we can be that interface, and we think we are a real asset to the company to help them with their retirees, because we're still their retirees. So unfortunately, we still haven't been able to break through that roadblock, and how do we do that? So we rely upon guys like you, the word of mouth, what happens, spread the word of mouth, and what the NRO is there for, and how we can help you guys manage your way through the retirement situation. So if you can do that, we would appreciate that. Now, NRLN, that's just a lot on this page, and I will go through it as quickly as I can. I got a new job at the NRLN. I'm now the Vice President of Legislative Affairs, which is another volunteer non-paying position, which is great. But we went to Washington. Bill Cartwright and I went to Washington with Allison Parker, who is basically our lobbyist in Washington. Very, very good lobbyist person. And we went to meet on two different subjects. We went on the 17th and 18th, and I won't bore you with the Senate Finance Committee people and the House Energy people that we went to see. But what we tried to do was focus on the committees that are in charge of pensions and in charge of healthcare, to meet with them, to talk to them about a couple of subjects. And then again on the 20th, we had a phone call with a lady named Kara Getz, which I'll get to her in a minute. Two issues. First one was Medicare. We wanted to talk to them. This is particularly Bill Cartwright's penchant for living a lot of times. And there's a thing called guaranteed issue rights. And you might have heard that some of the individuals who had insurance, Medicare Advantage insurance, that Homera has dumped 1 million people and said, we're not going to insure you anymore. I mean, that'd be kind of like, oh my gosh, what do I do? But there's a thing called guaranteed issue rights. And what the companies are supposed to do, both the insurance company is supposed to inform people, if they do that you have what's called guaranteed issue rights, that you can go and insurance companies are required to give you the best prices, and there's no elimination for pre-existing conditions. Well, in fact, that's not being done. So we have some real issues with that. So that was one of them. And then there's some other issues with Medicare and Medicaid Advantage. And there's been a lot of things written in the press right now about issues with Medicare Advantage, with people not getting approvals for things, and it's causing some real issues. So that was a part of what we were trying to get to the appropriate people. My penchant wasn't that, although it's important. My penchant in life is de-risking, and how do we manage the protection of people who are de-risked? And as we've said before, hopefully de-risking means that the company decides to annuitize you, sell the pensions, either partial or full pension, to an insurance company. They then pick it up, required to pay everything that you're supposed to be paid through your pension. But the problem is you lose PBGC protection. So what happens to you is now you're then transferred to what's called state guarantees. And an average state guarantees provide up to $250,000 of protection for a lifetime. And our pensions can eat up that $250,000 pretty quickly. And then there is no protection if the insurance company goes out of business. So long term, what we're trying to get happen is that the insurance companies the companies in the insurance company that buys the annuities would be required to have a secondary reinsurance plan that would, if the original insurance company would go out of business, that the secondary insurance company would cover everything exactly what, so it'd be a smooth transition. We're working on that very, very hard, and we've talked to a lot of people about it. And in reality, there is a few very important individuals in government that are really behind it. One of them happens to be Bernie Sanders, and he's had a real penchant for this. And so there's several other ones that are involved in trying to do this. The good is we have people that are very interested in it to make sure that annuitants are protected. The bad thing is right now, it's probably not going to make any progress this year, although we have legislative language written and whatever. So we met with a lot of people to get that going on. Whoops, sorry, I went backwards. I didn't mean to do that. If you can bring it back to me, Dale. Good. The one person I talked about, Kara Getz, she is the individual if you remember, when we were working so hard on pension overpayment issues and got legislative language that protected people and required companies to do certain things and limited the liabilities for the pensioner. She was instrumental in getting that put together. So that's why she's on this list of us to talk to her about it, because she also was going to be instrumental in us getting the annuity things set up. So we're trying to make sure that happens. Interestingly, I just got a call from Bill Catteright before the meeting started, and he said, "Hey, can you do something for me?" I said, "Well, what do you want me to do? Can you make a meeting today at 1 o'clock?" And I said, "Yeah, I can be out of our meeting or whatever." So the interesting thing is, and why I've said the future of the NRLN, I think, is very important to us, because he got a call from the PBGC and said, "Hey, can we have a meeting at 1 o'clock? We want to talk to you about our reorganization and what we can do for you guys and what you can do for us." So I think that's huge. I mean, to get a call from the PBGC to ask to present to us and talk to us about the future of retirees, I think that's huge. So stay tuned. We'll know more about that, hopefully. We talked about website. My last thing, whoops, I don't know why it doesn't go on my last slide, but anyway, the last thing I had is thank you for your support. We really amazing. We appreciate it. But I will echo what Mike said. You need to go to the website. I had apologized to my website guys yesterday at our board meeting because they said, I really didn't spend enough time on the website. We made some changes about a year and a half ago, maybe a year and a half ago, to a new person that was in charge of it. I want to tell you that may be one of the best websites you're going to go on. And not just because it's fun to look at and it's pretty or whatever, but there's some amazing things on there for you. I mean, just tech things that Dale, you can see Dale's picture on, if you go there and find it. The tech tips, you can find it, and it's amazing. It tells you things that you need to know about technology issues, about how you can use technology to help you stay in shape, eat the right things. There's all sorts of things that just are not related to your pension or your benefits, but it's related to life. So I challenge you, just please go on ncro.org and spend some time on it. Just spend some time going around and seeing it. And if you see some things, that's great. If you think there should be things added to it, please get a hold of us and let us know. But it's something that I think you really should spend some time on. So with that, thank you very much. Again, thank you so much for your support, because the board that you have, I will tell you this, the board you have working for you is incredible. I have the utmost love for them, the utmost respect for the board that I get to work with every day. They are incredible people, work for free, and work very hard to kind of protect our benefits. So again, to my board, thank you very much. I said that to you yesterday, and I mean it wholeheartedly. So for that, and we thank you for being a part of our organization. So thanks very much.